Okay, so today we're playing a great tune by Miles Davis called Tune Up. Actually, it was composed by Eddie Vinson, but Miles Davis was the first to record it and popularize it. It first appeared on the Miles Davis album Blue Haze, a compilation album of tracks recorded in 1953 and 1954 and later released in '56. It's a great album and you should definitely check it out after this video. Such a great lineup of great musicians, and Charles Mingus even plays the piano on one track. Do I need to say any more? In any event, it's a great tune, so let's learn how to walk it today. Tune Up has a 32-bar form that cycles through 3 different key centers through 2 5/1s. D major in line 1, the key signature here would be 2 sharps. C major in line 2, no sharps or flats, and B flat major in line 3, 2 flats. Line 4 breaks the 2-5-1 pattern with E minor 7 for 1 bar, then a 5-to-1 chord progression of F7 and B flat major 7. A7 in bar 16 re-establishes the tonal center of D major. Lines 5, 6 and 7 are identical to lines 1, 2 and 3. The 6th edition Real Book compresses the form with repeat signs and first and second time endings. For this tune, I find it very easy to lose my place when reading it from the Real Book, as I invariably forget which ending I need to take. Add the fact that Tune Up is frequently played at tempos exceeding 200 BPM, it's only a matter of time before I stuff it up. Anyway, lines 5, 6 and 7 we've already discussed. All that's left is line 8, which is the same 2-5-1 progression as lines 1 and 5. There are a few typical walking-based cliches used in this line, like walk-ups and drops, but for the most part I tried to stay clear of these types of devices and instead use things like sequences and scale patterns. So with all that said, let's have a listen to the bass line.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Before we get into any notes, let me first begin by saying that this tune is often called at very, very fast tempos. Over 200 beats per minute is fairly standard for this tune. So I definitely recommend starting out walking this line at about 100. That should be a reasonable place to start. and try to get these lines under your fingers. So what we're doing in this bass line, there's two main ideas that I wanted to focus on. The first is playing sequences in your walking bass lines, or a pattern that you just play in one key and then you move into the next key. And the second idea is playing scale patterns. And so we'll have a look at them as we go through. So starting with chorus 1, let's go from the very top. Walking down the key, walking back up. And now that 4-bar pattern, we're going to play it basically note for note with a couple of changes to the rhythm in the next line over the next 2-5, the 2-5 in C. And then we come to a different pattern, walking down in B flat major scale and walking up the scale to B natural, which is the 5th of E minor 7. Going to walk down and join this key, which I'm thinking of that as the key of D major, but starting on B, walking down E minor 7. We're going to join that to B flat major, but starting on F, walking down that scale. Back to the 2-5-1 in D, we're just doing a walk up to the 5 chord and a different walk up to a high D for the 1 chord. Now as we descend, we'll be using notes from the D major bop scale. And that's the same as the D major scale with the extra note of B flat added in. That B flat note there. In that phrase, there was no G note played on the G7, gives a nice melodic sound. Passing note action there. Some more walk-ups, a drop. For this 2-5 in D, this last one of the first chorus, just walk down the chord tones to B and then play a C natural to target the 3rd of A7. It's a nice way to give your lines a bit more spice and color, going to the C sharp instead of always going to the A. Go to the 3rd. And now just walking up your garden variety D major scale to get to a high E for the start of the 2nd chorus. Now in this chorus we're using a lot of passing notes to weave around the changes. Not playing too many root notes here, and you'll see how this works. We're going to play E, E flat, D, D sharp, and now the 5th E on A7, B flat, and the root, back to the 5th, and finally back up to D. So this whole 2-5 passage in the 2nd chorus, don't need to move the hand very much at all, and we can keep the hand in the same position for the 1 chord. And then open D to shift back. Going up to the 3rd of G7. So D, root, 7, 5th, and then passing note, sharp 5, if you like to call it that, to the 3rd of G7. Same idea. D sharp, sharp 5 of G7, or just a passing note to the 3rd of C major 7. Going to the 9 on C minor 7, just for something different, and walking down using passing notes to the root. Targeting the 3rd of F7 and the 3rd of B flat. Triads, passing note. Now this section, we're going to have to play open D string and shift quickly to G, G sharp, shift again, and do a walk up to E minor 7. Now this next idea uses a lot of passing notes for the 2-5. We're going to play root, sharp 4, 5, and then flat 9 to get to the 5th of A7, B the 9, root, and that F natural note again. On this chord it will be the sharp 5, and then that gets us in a nice way to get to the 3rd of D major 7. That's all in this position, way up on the 7th to 9th frets of the bass guitar. So just playing that again from bar 49. Open D, and we're back down here again. Walking down D minor 7 arpeggio from the 5th, and then a drop, walk up, and now C minor, another walk up, targeting the 3rd of B flat major scale, walking down D major. And now for this last 2-5 in D, we're going to play scale tone thirds all the way up. So we'll start with a 4th, A, D, and then we'll go to C sharp and just play thirds. And we get to the 3rd chorus. So I think we'll leave it there for this video. I hope this gave you a couple of ideas that you can add to your playing, and best of luck with walking this bass line. That's all for now. Thanks so much for checking out the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to download the full bass line, it's available on my Patreon in both standard and tab notations. Thanks very much for watching, and until next time, take care.